Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NHL20 Franchise GM Mode, taking the Tacoma Walleye into their 22-23 season. I think this is our fourth season, I believe. Should be. Yeah, this is our fourth season. So, we missed the playoffs in season one, which was no surprise because the team was absolutely terrible. Season two, we made the playoffs. Kind of lucked our way in and had a first round exit. Season 3, this past season, we stormed into the playoffs. Looked really good. First round exit. Very disappointing. Oh, you know what I didn't do? And I should have done this already. I did not take care of my my agents, my scouts, I mean, to get them. So I guess I'll run through that and show you guys exactly what I do, which is very simple, and it's not something I made up. It's a strategy I've seen other people do, and it works. But real quick, we're gonna jump over. Look at the lines. I'm gonna be micromanaging our lines again. It wasn't that bad last time. So now I made a few acquisitions, and this is what we've ended up with. So Dennis Yan I picked up as a free agent, and Kale Kosala I picked up as a free agent. So I was like, okay, good. I've got two guys that are actual left wings that I can throw in there, and they're mid to higher 70s. That helps because I got rid of some players, and I was a little worried about it. And then I was offered a trade for I think it was 2 draft picks, and I don't think any players. And I got back a draft pick, and I got Nathan Walker, a left wing. Again, someone that I needed, and a two-way forward of all things, which helps because two-way forward. Sniper, two-way forward. Look, we get a bonus of +1. And as you can see, my top line, now that I have a designated left wing, who is a sniper, and we have the playmaker, and we have power forward. This is like the ultimate combination that you can have of players. So granted, offensive strategy doesn't totally fit for him, I guess, but doesn't really matter. They're getting a bonus because of their chemistry. So couldn't have asked for anything better in those terms. We didn't make any acquisitions on defense, but we haven't had to. We've got a very strong defensive core here. Although I don't know why Deneen would be sitting down here. I'm curious. What if I send him over here? I don't think it's really making that amazing of a difference. No, we'll keep him as is. Okay. So, like I said, I ended up bringing in 3 players. I traded away 1 center who I didn't really need. I managed to get rid... Well, that was something else, if you'll notice. Let's jump over to... I got rid of Wood. He was not helping me at all. I'm not worried about the AHL team. That's not my responsibility. But if you'll notice, Lion is gone. That's right. Traded him away. Unfortunately, I think I only got a 7th round pick for him. Same thing with Wood, but neither one of those guys were doing anything for me. This gives my rookie a chance to, sink or swim. So yeah, I wasn't, that was the thing. I'm figuring if I'm bringing in a couple of free agents and I'm going to be spending the money on these guys, well, I need to free up some money. So between the 2 guys I got rid of, that was like $8 million that I shed. All right, so let's assign scouts. I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. So basically, Do I have 2 guys in SHL? I think I do. No? Okay. So we go to scout specific players. And we go to potential and comparison. And I will do that for as many players as I can until we get to like the mid 200s, because beyond that they're not players that are likely to be. It's 25. We're already into March. Let's scout an even 30. So basically what this does is it gives us an idea of what's the potential of the draft picks. And I have it set so that the teams will automatically, the scouts will automatically start scouting. Like when they finish their scouting assignments, then they'll start scouting again. But it'll be for different different qualities, like character assessment and stuff like that. Let's do 15. And then our other Liga scout. Same thing. Potential and comparison. So, I've gotten rid of a number of prospects that I had drafted. Oh, we're actually getting. Should have done more than 15 with the other guy, but we'll just load up to 20. All right. Yeah, I got rid of prospects that were basically not looking to be anything better than like a AHL guy or a bottom 6 forward or 7th defenseman, primarily because I know that those players are not as likely to really do anything on my team. They're probably not going to. They're not going to get a lot of ice time, and if I'm trying to build a team that's going to be making a consistent dent, the only thing is like what I got to be careful of as the seasons roll on is we're going to see some players get real expensive. Going to be going all the way up to 30 here too, huh? That's fine. Like, I know I've got a couple players that are already looking at next season, or at the end of this season, I got to re-sign them. They're either going to be RFAs or UFAs, and they're going to be commanding a pretty high price. But it is what it is. Like, I think Perfetti or De Silva or both are going to be needing to be signed, and they're going to be commanding a lot of money. Heinola, too. I think he's going to be... He's going to be asking for some real bucks. Alright, so are we doing 25 each of these? Or 20? I think it's 20. And I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can. I know that this isn't like super exciting or anything like that. You know, like, oh, this guy's whole video is nothing but clicking through scouts for the first hour. I mean, hopefully it's not going to be that long. But I'm actually very annoyed with myself that I didn't already take care of this, because it was one thing I always make sure I do, and this isn't, like I said, I know it's not super fun. So yeah, so anyway, anybody who happens to be watching these videos, if there's anything that you would like to know, if you have any questions about like strategies to building my teams or anything along those lines, feel free to ask. And in those terms, I really don't have like, when I play on my own and I'm not doing something where I'm trying to like keep things as timely as possible and not have like super long videos, but when I'm just on my own, I will sit here with a notebook and I will write down every detail about my players, like the ones that I've drafted, all my rookies. I'll jot down how much they've improved, or if they're dropping down in terms of their growth, and who I want to get rid of, who I'm going to trade to, all this stuff. Like when I'm doing this online, like on a live stream, I'm doing most of this just by the seat of my pants. I'm not really I'm not really doing a whole lot of pre-planning other than right before I go into the draft. I look primarily to see if there's anybody in the draft that's like, like a hidden gem, like that goaltender I picked up. I picked up in the second round because he was a medium elite, and I really need a strong goalie to, for the future. And that dude, I had to make sure that, okay, I know where he's probably going to go, and I'm going to have to make a trade. I think I'm going 25 and 25 with the... there's a lot of players available in this league. Holy crap. Look at that. Downey was the last one. But yeah, I knew that I'm like, okay, my pick is at this point, and I need to make sure that I can get him. So like that's when I was actually making real planning. But again, I'm doing that off stream. I'm not doing it live because I can't imagine the tedium of listening to me strategize a draft pick. Or, I mean, you guys saw me making the attempt to get that pick. I didn't have to go 25. I could have just gone. That's fine. That's fine. It's no big deal. And I think everybody else, yeah, these are all one and dones. But yeah, but I made the right decision, I think, with making the trade that I did to pick up the player that I did, and I gave up a player who, I don't know, I think that's when I gave up a player who was a prospect that might have ended up pretty decent on my team, but at the same time, these are the sacrifices we need to make. We don't know for certain if they're going to make it. And I'll tell you what, I have the trades set for easy, and even then, I can't get any of the trades I attempt. Like, it's like, oh, you want to pick up, like a player for like a round, like a guy who's ranked at 70. Like, can I get a ranked 70 guy for a 4th round pick? Nope. How about a 5th round pick? Nope. How about a 6th round pick? Nope. Like, even when it's like a player that a team wants, they're like, oh, he fits what we're asking for. And you would think, cool, I can probably make the trade successfully then, and these guys will we'll take that trade. And it's like, nah, we don't. Even though he fits what our our search is, we're not going to take him for a middle pick. Like players that and players that aren't even expensive. Like I understand if they're refusing someone who costs like $4.5 million, but there's no salary cap right now, so that's definitely something that I hope in the next game that if I put down easy trades, like seriously, like skew it to be easier. like stop refusing every offer that I make. It's my game. If I don't want it to be so tough, then that's on me, right? Well, these players are awful. Yikes. But yeah, like don't make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be. And incidentally, I know, like for instance, in here, like, all right, these players are probably not going to get drafted. These last three, but if they make it to the next draft, well, I've already got some scouting done on them, so it's worth doing. Wow. There's nobody around. Not having a good season for players. Crying out loud, you only got one guy. But yeah, that's something I hope that they fix. There's a couple of things in the game that I definitely would like them to adjust. Some of the simulation stuff needs to be fixed in terms of games. Like you can have it is definitely it can be a little too random. Like I can sim through an entire season and get certain results, and then I can sim through the exact the same season, like the same teams, everything set up exactly the same, and get to the end of the season and have completely different results, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like obviously when I have all created teams, it's not that shocking because it's lending itself to be a little more random. But if I'm starting with AHL with like a current lineup, well, teams that should be at the top every single time, and it's way too freaking random. It's weird. It's very weird. All right. Anyway, let's get on to this. 15 minutes later, and finally. All right, is there anything before the preseason starts that we need to worry about? Asking for a trade? No. Hell no. I'm not taking on $5.5 million for a guy who's going to last for 1 year for a second-round pick. Nope. And I'm keeping Kincaid on my trade block this time, even though I don't think anyone's going to take it, simply because he's been so... I think my budget's already been handled. Yes, okay. I think just because like he's been so prone to injury. All right, great. Anderson was hurt for a game. But yeah, since he was so since he's so prone to injury and whatnot, if somebody actually makes me an offer for him, I might jump at it. I have a great backup goaltender who's been playing, like a lot of games, considering he's standing in for Kincaid, and it sucks because I like Kincaid. I don't want to like dump him. RPG Gamer, what's going on? RPG Gamer saying, I swear this looks like football fantasy game, even though it's NHL. Yeah, I mean, it's not that dissimilar. It's just basically a lot more games. I mean, if you really think about it, it's a lot of the same kind of micromanaging your players and your, all the little details about your team. So yeah, it's not going to be that that much different. All right, so let's get through October. I don't need to worry about that. I already did my scouts. I can't believe I forgot to do the scouting. That really annoys me. Alright, so first look at this draft class. Do we have... Alright, so let's look at... Oh, already looking at some potential players. I don't imagine there's anybody who's... Oh, already got someone they consider a bust. Really? Barry Card. Looks like he's going to be a bust. Well, then we're going to avoid him. Alright, moving on. De Silva's hurt. That didn't take long. The other thing, and this is minor, this is just like a technical issue. I would like the menus and everything to pop up a little bit faster. And like to be able to switch when like I can hit the button as fast as I can, like the up and down button, and there's like a little bit of a delay, and it seems like there's a little bit of a lag when I'm cycling through the menus. So I wish that's something that they tighten up soon. Who is scratched? Okay, I have a winger, Blyde. He can come up. I actually need to bring up a defenseman. Ooh, you do not fit there at all. I hope that we get our boy back soon. That should be good now, right? Alright. Why is this, got a -1? Oh, I'm not gonna worry. It's a 4-man power play. That's not something that we often have to run into. So I'll bring a defenseman up from my minor league if I get a defenseman hurt. Well, I shouldn't say if. When I have a defenseman that's injured, then I'll bring somebody up. Okay. So once again, if you remember from the last video that we went through a season, we don't bring our players up when they're initially available to play. We wait until it says fully healed, because the odds of them becoming injured again are very high. Alright, now let me look at something here. What if I put De Silva in there? Okay. Well, at least it's not a minus. It's not a negative. See, so far that's, you know, 3, 4, and 1. Not as good as last, but I had a feeling that we might slump a little bit down this season compared to last season. But it's early yet, so let's see. Anderson is out. He'll be out until November. Well, right there it goes as I was saying in terms of bringing up a defenseman. that's what we're going to have to do. Let's bring up... Alright, well, it is time for you to make the journey up. Go to Vic. Now, this could be a big moment for him. Could be a big opportunity. We're just gonna best lines this. Oh, that's another thing. So my roster, like I was starting to say this earlier, since I did trade away a good number of my prospects, I am pretty low on available prospects in my pool, so I'm gonna have to really hope to get some quality picks so that I got some good players in the pipeline, because right now, yeah, that's not so much the issue. Alright, so I know he was kind of feeling annoyed that he wasn't getting a lot of time, but defensemen get hurt quite often, so I'm expecting him to actually get a lot more time than you may initially expect. Good year for rookies. That's good to hear. And our record is getting a bit better. That's not good. Well, what did I just say about defensemen getting injured? You know what's funny? Like, I actually, I specifically got this game for the sole purpose of just doing all the simulation stuff, not even to actually play it. I know so many people that are like, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Yeah, it's just because it's my, throw him in there, I guess. Yeah, just because, like, this is my favorite thing to do in this game. It's not even necessarily to play the games. And, like, the only thing that I'm doing playing the games is I'm doing the Be a Pro. And trying to get it, try to play through an entire CHL season and or WH. I don't remember. My player's he's playing for a Canadian league team because he's underage, and trying to work your way to the NHL draft and getting picked. All right, so he's going to be available to come back soon, but not quite. Hold on. Third round pick, as opposed to a third and a fourth, and no, absolutely not. I need those picks. Well, funny enough that the guy who just got hurt, and I don't mean funny haha, I just mean coincidentally, the guy who was just injured can be replaced by a guy who's coming back from being injured and hopefully gets through a game without getting severely hurt again. I think that's just a player who's already that's all it's going to be. Because Vukovic. Okay, so he's not injured anymore. However, he's not a starter, so we don't need him back. I lost track what I was. Let's see, there you go. Lost track what I was saying. Oops! Schmaltz is hurt. He won't be back till December or something. Alright, well. Once again, helpful to have. See, this kid's getting a lot of time in. I'm not worried about that. Oh, I was saying with the be a pro. I'm playing through that on my own time. I'm gonna check my facilities real quick. But I've been playing that on my own time, and that's fun. But it's still not as much fun for me as doing this, as doing all of the little simulation stuff. I don't know what it is. I just really, really enjoy this. And I needed... Club seats needed to be upgraded, but I don't know how much it's going to cost, and that bothers me. Because I have to do this during the off-season. So I feel like it's going to be expensive, and... I'm going to need to set money aside to make sure I can take care of it. Everything else is 80 something. Alright, we're gonna wait on having to fix anything else. Operations budget. I'm gonna pull back. Alright, I'm gonna pull back and leave that much available. Advertising, I'm not really worrying about advertising. Scout travel I can actually take away because I don't move anybody. Just bumping that up a little bit. Alright, so I have surplus money right now. Let me leave at least $1 million for arena operations. And if I have to play around with it, I'll play around with it. But I definitely want that bonus of being able to fix stuff. And the other thing is owner goals. These are going to be tough. Get to the Stanley Cup final. Finish first in the division. So 85% of season tickets is doable. I think I've done that every year since the second season. So that's at least 40 grand that I should be able to land. But that'll be the end of the season. I don't know about making the Stanley Cup final or being first in our division, but I can't get fired, so I'm not really worrying about it. The other thing. See how the morale is on the team. We should be good. Look at Mikey Anderson becoming a leader on this team. Locker room leader. Okay, and I don't have anybody who's grousing. That's good. Good. Same thing with AHL. Alright, good to know. Good to know. Alright, it's getting back into the season. See how we do in December, folks. Simulate. These guys have been trying so hard to get me to take Nathan Bastian but look at his stats. What about that? Like, what about those stats seem even remotely like something I want to bring into my team? Like, and I feel bad because as a Devils fan, like, I don't want to badmouth a kid who's in the real life Devils pipeline, but come on, man. They were trying so hard. So hard. But I don't want that guy. Do you have somebody else? See, and here's another thing. Like, when there were players that I'm like, oh, I could potentially go for this guy or that guy, and I tried making trades with them, and they wouldn't go for anything. It made no sense to me. It made absolutely no sense. This dude's better. I'd be more willing to make a trade for him. However, I think the team I have is pretty good. And we're not going to make that trade. Well, I guess he took a bump in that last game. Schmaltz is available, but he ain't playing yet. Not until he's fully healed. Let's look at the draft class, see who's... I think we're probably going to be pretty decent again. I'm mostly interested in guys who are going to be in the mid-20s. Kim Oduya. Well, that's someone to look forward to, right? Yeah, we're going to be looking at... And Barry Card, still a bust. At this point, like, our scouts are still doing all of, literally doing their job, and they're scouting everybody, so we're not going to really know at this point, not until we get to, like, March, April, to get the real, like, best picture as to who's available to draft that's worth our time. Alright, Schmaltz. I'll be very curious to see at the end of the season how the players that I brought into the team, like how well they've performed. I'm particularly interested in Dennis Yan because he was the first one that I snagged from free agency to bolster the left wing. Like, he was the first guy that I brought in, like, I need a top left wing, and I got him in there. Yeah. Kalamazoo fired their head coach. And I know a lot of players are like, oh, they're all excited about bringing him in. Ah, damn. So, definitely hoping that he turns out to be... Like, I don't need him scoring like 1,000,000 goals and 1,000,000 assists, but I want to see that he turns out to be somebody who has contributed. All right, so we're 19, 16, and 1. We're just over 500, so we're not really looking amazing, but we're not as bad as I thought we might slip. I thought we might slip pretty significantly. But so far, it hasn't been too terribly frightening. He's available, but he ain't gonna play yet. Okay. That sucks. To be fair... see, it's... What is with the lag? 6 and 8. Not amazing stats so far, but... I guess it is what it is, right? I could bring in power forward. Yeah, he was one of our right, he was one of our draft picks. Yeah, I think he was like our first. Wait, when did we pick him? 6th round pick. It's funny how the 6th round pick is turning out better than some of the others that we brought in that drafted a lot higher than him. Okay, Leeson is fully healed, so we can bring him back. Hold on 1 second, guys. Answering a message from a friend of mine I haven't talked to in a bit. Okay. Let's bring our boy back in. How many games has he played now? See, he's played 13 games. He's getting quite a bit of time. You know, 13 games into the season for, you know, a guy who technically is, you know, he's just a perennial scratch. Ooh, no. That ain't good. Oh, this line is going to be ugly. Maybe not. Figure I might as well get some extra time, right? Oh, Cliffy Poo. Updated owner goals. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, and incidentally, here's another weird glitch. So, I ended up getting told that, oh, we expect you to, you know, I expect you to meet my goals when I set them. and it was for an owner goal that had changed. Like it was originally a goal, and then it was taken away when the updated goals popped up. And then all of a sudden it was like I'm getting in trouble for something. So it's like now if I don't make the Stanley Cup Finals, am I going to make the owner mad? Not that it's going to affect me or anything, but make round 3 of the playoffs. See, that's a little more reasonable. Finish in the top 1 in the division. What is the top 1? Don't you mean finish first in the division? And then the other stuff is the same. So basically, we dropped from a champion, state of the team as champion, to contender. All right, but like I said, that's way more realistic. All right, let's bring old Cliff back in here. Get back in there, Cliff. Cliff Poo. Solid player. So this is the thing. If I don't have a lot of people that, like, a lot of players that are in their 80s, like Perfetti, but, you know, if I got guys that are in their 70s, but if they're all performing well, I don't need to have a Maurice Richard trophy candidate on my team. If the scoring is being spread out, then that's all that matters. Just win games. We don't need to have a team loaded with superstars. Consul is almost ready to return. And now he's totally ready to return. And now we get that line back in its true form. Alright, boys. That's what I was going to do. I was going to edit the trade block. You know what? I think I might go for this because I'm getting 2 picks for the price of 1. Let me take a look at this player that you're offering me. Yeah, this dude ain't bad. I don't think I could pass that up. For a second rounder for next season, in exchange for a 3rd and a 4th, and an extra player. Alright. Bogachevic is getting moved down. That's fine. Alright, hold on. Hold up everything. Hold on. Hang on. Hold up. Hold up. Let's look at this real quick. Let's look at our lines. Two-way forward for a two-way forward. He's got a little bit better with the shooting. Not as good with the senses. Okay, I don't need to put him into the lineup, but he's definitely a better quality player Okay, so that was possible moves to be made. He wasn't definitely getting sent down. Okay. But if I've got an injured player, I might also be looking at someone may have to get moved. Do I have any current injuries? No. Okay. So having a center, a wing, and a defenseman sitting as healthy scratches, that's not a bad thing. All right. Oh, hold on. One more quick thing to look at. See, I have a pretty solid number of picks. I gave up 1 second round pick. But that's a lot of picks in this draft. So hopefully we can end up nabbing a good number of prospects. See, if you look once again, like right now with what we have, and then the depth of what we have is great. Prospects, not good. Defensive prospects, not good. Goalie prospects is great. we got a whole bunch of players that are hopefully going to be working their way up. Oh, Copley, did he just take over the, yeah. Copley seems to have taken over the starting role. I mean, it is what it is. Kincaid was was getting hurt. Copley was playing a lot more games than him. Not going to sweat it. So I really don't think, I don't really need to make any moves right now for any more draft picks. Not for this season. Hold on, let me just, I know this is taking away from the excitement of watching the calendar, but, okay. I don't have a second rounder next year, but I got 3 third rounders. And so I got 10 picks next year. And I've got $11 picks this year. So I am good on picks. I don't need to worry about that. So I'm not going to be in the running for making any trades. My team is playing well. We're 24-18-2. So we're above 500, I think we're so far, yeah, right now we're 3rd in our division. So we're in good shape for, playoff contention. And then my players keep getting hurt. But fortunately, the other thing that's good is that these guys that I have sitting on the bench are all quality players who can jump up pretty damn quick and replace the players that are hurt without me taking, for the most part, taking a big dive in production and, player. Ooh, shit. Ooh. Holy crap. So these two should, no matter what, be at least elite players after they've been drafted. So right here, if you see, like, Central Scouting Rank has them going 97th and 128th. My scouts expect that this dude would probably go later. But, so these are 2 players I need to plan before I do the draft picks. These are 2 players I need to plan for. I'm I'm going to need to get ready to make arrangements. And there's another one to possibly keep an eye on, even if he doesn't end up being an elite. Oh, I've scouted him a whole bunch of times. 43 times I've scouted him? How? How has he been scouted 43 times? I don't think that's accurate. Oh, we dropped down to 4th. Alright, Leeson is ready to come back. Ah, that lag is killing me. Get back in there, dude. Man, that defensive tandem is nasty. All right. We're getting close to the trade deadline. That was something I wanted to do real quick. Let me look at my trade block, which is actually what I meant to do before, and then for whatever reason it just fell out of my brain that's what I wanted to look at. Alright, Kincaid is on there. I really don't have any other players that I feel like yeah, I mean I really don't have anybody else. Because I don't have a ton of players in the AHL that are in my depth chart, so I don't really need to worry about trades or anything like that. Again, if somebody throws an offer my way that's like, oh, I can't resist that, that's one thing, but all right, February, how do you treat us? Starting right off the bat with our captain, Chuck Hooden, being hurt. Sorry, Chuck. Fortunately, we got a center. He actually boosted the overall in the line, so we lose our captain, but we got a rookie who's stepping in, and oh no. Sadly, De Silva tends to be a little injury prone as well. All right there, JC, you got brought in. You were traded for and have made the major debut. Making your debut, I should say. Well, you know what? We're gonna throw you out there. See what you can do. That's not good. Get out there, Lipon. Lipon, I don't know how to say his name. ain't coming back yet, Chuck. Now you're coming back. Oh, good. Dan is hurt. Or Dennis Yen, I mean. Terrific. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that was going to be the case. Von Kraft, what's going on? Von Kraft saying, so I'm assuming this is going to be the stream game for a while. I don't think the chat bubble is popping up in the top right like it usually does. No, you know what? You're right. Because until I turned my head and looked at my laptop, I didn't even know that you had commented. So, yeah, it's not popping up. That must be something that they changed. Oh, Walker's hurt. Yeah, I might do another game later on tonight. I'm not sure. I'm basically just doing 2 of these a day. And it's just going to be sending a season and then doing the postseason, and then the next day I'll do that. But tonight I was planning on going through the games I have in my queue and seeing what I want to put in there. Respond 6 minutes later. Well, that's another thing. Like the chat on my laptop isn't accurate to when the video feed pops up. So you might say something and then I'll respond, but by the time the video comes up to when I'm saying something, it's several minutes later. Or it may simply come down to when I actually turn my head and realize that there's a message, which is more often the case. Okay, so Howell, let's throw you in there. Very good. Moving on. 20 seconds delayed. So it's definitely the other one. I just wasn't. I was probably buried in my game, trying to use my brain a little bit. Uh-oh, Cosmos fired their coach. Doesn't affect us at all. Right now our coaches seem to be doing a decent job. Alright, so who was set to come back? De Silva? Okay. Who else? Walker? Yeah, no. Nah! I'm not risking him getting hurt again. But you know what? I will throw him in there instead. And what are we looking at on defense? Everybody that should be playing is playing. Von Kraft saying, how dare you? I'm going to do some GTA and have this in the background. Right on, dude. Yeah, it's not like visually there's a whole lot to really, pay much attention to. Unless you hear me go, oh my god! Then maybe turn around. No, I want that round 3, so no. I want my round 3. And I don't need to be taking on any other players. My team is good as is. So, no thank you. Uh-oh. Sounds like my... What?! Sokolov! Sokolov! You demand to be traded? Oh, you son of a bitch. Wow, really? Alright, well, if you want to go, I'll get rid of you. That's a shame. Von Kraft's asking, so is this football or American football? It's neither. It's hockey. This is hockey. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna trade Sokolov. Let's see what can we get for him. And here's the thing: I don't remember if he's in our NHL team. And here's a funny thing too, like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna trade this guy away. I just had him gain morale. I just gained morale for a player I'm gonna trade away. Like, that's silliness. And you know what's funny, Von Kraft? Someone else was asking me that yesterday. Like, is this football or is this American football? And I'm like, no, it's hockey. But it's, again, it's or even in the beginning, RPG Gamer had said that that it looks a lot like football fantasy game. Von Kraft was saying, yeah, I don't do sports, so I wasn't really seeing what was happening. But yeah, I mean, it's not that different. You know, it's just since I'm not actually playing the games, and I'm just simulating the seasons. Like, it's the same thing as any other sports franchise. It would just be like I'm just managing my roster and doing all that kind of stuff. It's not that different. I just understand how. I mean, I'm a football fan and everything else, both football and American football. But hockey is my favorite sport, so I understand hockey way, way, way more. So Sokolov, I don't remember. Was he one of our NHL players? He is. Well, I think what he's about to do is he may be about to give this young man a starting job. Although I kind of need a sniper to jump into his spot. But let's see, what can we get for Sokolov? I'm going to put him on our trade block. And then I am going to hit find a trade for this guy. Now watch, I put him on the trade block and it's going to be Sokolov's morale has gone down for being placed on the trade block, even though that's what he asked me to do. Like, he wants to be traded. Okay, before I do that, let me repair some things. Minecraft saying, I think if it was streamed on Twitch, you could get some compensations for these streams. I just noticed how I've been a sub for a good while, maybe 2 years. Is that how long it's... I get lost on, like, how much time has gone by. Minecraft saying, I feel like you could get more subs than this. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I think if I mean, I get enough compliments from those of you that watch, and I think definitely, like, if I took this more seriously, and obviously, like, the beginning of Witcher, yeah, that was a while ago. I literally, I on my own time, just replayed The Witcher. But yeah, like, I know I get enough compliments, but, like, before with my work schedule and with my band schedule and stuff, it's like I didn't have time to be consistent. And since I don't have a strong PC to, like, do videos in advance and edit and then post them at different times, like, I can't, you know, the only thing I can really do is live streams from PlayStation, so that was, like, really my only option. But now that I'm currently technically unemployed, as so many of us are, I'm not going to bother repairing that because I'm going to end up having to upgrade it anyway. Uh-oh. Yeah, the executive suites are going to have to suffer. I don't really care. Minecraft saying, I was going to say next that you have your main job to do. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, up until the guy who I took care of passing away last week, like, we had a lot on our hands. Like, there was a lot going on, there was a lot to deal with, and it was just wiping me out. So it's like, even when I would be normally home and, like, technically I would have time to do a No, I'm looking for fine trade. Like when I would be like, yeah, right now from like I don't know, like 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I could stream, but I was so exhausted, I was so completely emotionally and physically spent that I just didn't have the motivation to be online. I was just too out of it. So who knows what the future holds? I might be on here way more often. Like I said, I'm gonna see what kind of game I want to start. Like, there's definitely games coming out that I'm gonna be doing. Like when The Last of Us 2 comes out, obviously I'm gonna play that. Whenever Cyberpunk ever gets released, I'll be doing that. Like, there's games that will be coming out that I'm gonna be jumping on and streaming. But I know for the most part, like most of the stuff that gets watched are games that like either have just released and people were excited for, or they're games that were like really, really popular that people want to see someone play through when they already know what happens. Like if you've already played through The Witcher 3, it's exciting to watch someone else play through it because you know what's coming up and you know what kind of exciting stuff may be going on. All right, let's find a trade for Sokolov. Anything? Really? So you're willing to offer me Luke Johnson, two-way forward. Pretty tough dude. Doesn't necessarily fit in any of our schemes. However, he's a center. So we're getting a player back and a draft pick. Von Kraft is asking, speaking of which, did he die from COVID or just age? And then I think personally from what I've experienced, obviously new games get views, but you can do old games if you stream them several times a week. Yeah, just being consistent. And that tends to be like the thing. Like if you've noticed, like anytime I get into a game, I'm pretty much on it all the time. But yeah, so my client, he died of heart failure. And the autopsy, they already did the a COVID test just to see if there was a chance he had it, and he didn't. We thought that he had pneumonia, because when I went into work Monday night, he had a fever. He sounded horrible. Monday or Tuesday morning, his breathing was very bad, and it sounded like pneumonia, which he was very susceptible to. When he was taken to the hospital, they checked his lungs, and his lungs were clear, so it wasn't pneumonia. It was his heart. And for the last several years, he's had congestive heart failure. So it was a matter of time that eventually his heart would just kind of give out. And I think with the way that my client was, he experienced a lot of really bad anxiety. He had developmental disabilities, or for lack of a better term, he had mental retardation. So he wasn't just like an old guy or whatever. Like he was someone who had special needs. And part of his disability was he had OCD, and he had a tendency to get really bad anxiety that was linked to his OCD. And I think the week prior, his anxiety was really, really bad, and that brings a lot of stress to your body. And I think because of the pandemic, his routine was screwed up. Like, there were no sports, and the guy liked to watch sports all the time. And so that wasn't part of his routine. And seeing all of us who work with him, like anytime any of us come in, we're all wearing gloves and masks, so that's weird. And I think just his routine of normal was so different, and he just wasn't able to adjust to it. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't really able to like grasp his new normal. And it stressed him out really bad, and eventually it was just too much on his heart. That's my personal opinion and theory as to, how it all went down. And it's sad, and I appreciate you saying sorry. Like, it's sad, but honestly, I mean, he wasn't that old. He was only 61, but a lot of clients, like, they pass away young anyway. But like I was telling everybody, like, if I could go the way that he went, I'd be happy, because he had the most peaceful exit of life that you could hope for. Like, I mean, granted, it sucks that he was sick and feverish, but this was his last moments were when he was in the emergency room. Our one senior staff member was with him, and she was singing to him and telling him how all of our staff loved him. And when she was singing "You Are My Sunshine," like, his lips were moving, trying to sing along. So he was aware she was singing. So the last things that he would have been cognitive of, that he was aware of, was being loved and being happy and being peaceful. Not afraid. He wasn't scared. He wasn't in any real pain. Even though he was struggling to breathe, it's not like he had some horrible stomach cancer or something, or like when my father passed away from cancer, and it was like, his last moments were painful and horrible, like, if he wasn't on morphine, it was awful. But with my client, like I said, his last moments were of peace and happiness, and then he passed out, basically, from the lack of oxygen. Then they were able to move him into the ICU, and at which point he died within a half an hour. So he basically passed away in his sleep. Couldn't go out a better way. You know what I mean? Like, if the last things that your brain knows is that you're happy and people love you, and you're being, someone's singing to you and bringing you peace, and then the lights go out and that's it. Man, sign me up for that. You know what I mean? I would so much rather go out that way. So that's what happened. So Voncraft also said, for me, I don't like spending $60 just on a new game, so I wait for it to be on sale, which is why I stream old games. Dude, 100%. Totally agree with you. If it's a game like The Last of Us, like, I know that game's going to be great, so I know it's worth spending the money on. If it's a game like Cyberpunk, I know it's going to be worth it. But other games like Death Stranding, I never even got it. I wanted to. I was looking, I was like, oh, that might be good. But I didn't know enough or trust enough that it was going to be worth the money. And then I heard so many mixed reviews, and I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't. When that game eventually goes on sale, if I could pick that up for like $10-15, yeah, then I'll nab it. Then it'll be worth it. But anyway, let's accept this trade. We helped Sokolov to get rid of him. For whatever reason, he wasn't happy with our team. And but we picked up a center to replace him, and we got another draft pick out of it. So that's unfilled lines. Go to roster moves. I don't think I really need to go to roster moves. Yeah, lines need to be fixed, but we got two players here that we can throw in there. So we can throw Johnson right into the mix. Look at that. Made a trade, immediately have a guy to replace the guy that we just traded away, and I get a draft pick on top of it. That couldn't have gone any better. I don't know why I was asking me to go to roster moves, because that was completely unnecessary. All right, we are good. Thank you. I'm glad that trade worked out. Can we please get back to... There we go. Let's get back into the season. And we're going to get a thank you. Somebody else demanded to be traded last season, too. Who the hell was it? But it might have been off... I don't know if it was on a stream. It might have been... It might have been a postseason thing when I was simulating days. I'm not certain. Is Sokolov gonna thank me for trading him? Yeah, there it is. Well, I love this. Like, it's such a shitty way to do it. Well, you kept your word. Yeah, I did. Yeah, correct. I kept my word. You don't want to be here? I got rid of you. Yeah, I'm glad I can help out. I'm always looking out for my team and my players. And that's the thing. I don't need him being a cancer on my team. I don't need this guy being an attitude. So, goodbye, Sokolov. The guy who was just stepping in and filling in roles. Look, morale gained. Well, whatever. But he was stepping in and filling in. Then he just got a starting job. Like this season, he was a starter. He was miserable as a starter. Well, too bad. We got a player to take your place. Maybe it's because we're slipping into standings really bad. Oh, we're right at 500. We're not doing well at all. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're in trouble. Oh, no. Oh, no. We might be on our way out of the playoffs. Crap. Oh, crap. Yeah, I think we're in trouble. Ever heard, Von Cross asked me, ever heard of Nier Automata? I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but no, I never heard of that. I'm assuming that's a game, right? Uh-oh. 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 Oh, man. Yeah, we're really not doing well here. We have 61 points. We're 5 points out of a playoff spot. Yikes. No, what kind of game is that? Where do we sit overall? We're going to be right in the middle somewhere, aren't we? Fourth out of 32 teams. Yeah, that's not good. Wow, our season started strong and then it just fell apart. Oh well. Unfortunately, the season is now getting to the point where I originally thought it would. No, I can't give up my picks now. No, absolutely not. I already did trade block. I don't really have anybody that I can... Hell no. Nope. Not going for these. Not going for those trades. Nope, 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 nope. Any more? Alright, round three. No. Because that guy's only going to be around for the rest of the year. And, like, yes, I'm a bubble team, but I need, like, I would need someone real significant. And I'm actually fine with missing the playoffs if we miss the playoffs. Did we get one more trade offer? No. Okay. So let's get through March. Let's see how this ends up. Alright, we're going to keep the ticket prices, change our marketing budget. Drop this down. Pump this up. All right. Because we are in full season ticket selling mode. Minecraft saying it's a TPS game where it takes place, I think, in like 1100 or 11,000. It's easier to look up than explain. I guess an Android fighting game. Huh. Ah, crap. Copley's hurt. That's not good. Like an Android fighting game. Hmm. Is it a PC game or is it on PlayStation? Alright, Bones. Oh, PS4 and PC. Huh. When I end this stream, I'll look that up. And then we got this random guy. Yeah, I'm gonna, hold on 1 second here. Let me layer Automoda. Just opening up another tab on my laptop and putting that in the search so I can check it out when I'm done with this. That way I won't forget. Unlike half the time when I'm like, oh, I'll look at that, and then my brain goes, boop, we forgot. All right, not the time for our starting goaltender to get hurt. All right, let's look at the look at this again. Are those players still potential franchise players? Yes, they are. Anybody else pop up as a gem or a bust to watch out for? Just same people. All right, so nothing crazy here. Let's return to the lineup. All right, well, the worry is that he's not fully healed yet, but what we'll do is we'll have him jump into the backup spot for now. Hopefully he won't get hurt somehow. Put Bohms back in. When did I draft him? A couple of years ago. Okay. So he's developing about as I'd expect. Whoops. All right, fully healed. Now let's see where he's sitting as. Is he in the starting position? All right. It's crazy how he took over the starting job. The Hogs fired their coach too. Well, it doesn't affect me. All right, we gotta be winning games or we're gonna miss the playoffs. I mean, once again, I'm not going to be broken up if I miss the playoffs, but it's going to be about trying to fulfill a owner goal by getting to the third round, and I don't know if that's going to be even feasible if we even make the playoffs with the way that the team is playing right now. Oh, boy. A loss, a win. Oh, we got another injured player who's going to be That's not good. Fortunately, we have a quality backup for that position. Oh my god. We just put him in the game. Like, he just replaced another injured guy, and now he's hurt. This is not good. This is not good. Well, Walker. Not exactly your position of expertise, but you're going to have to sit there and make magic happen. And it's a 7-3 loss right off the bat, and then a 3-2 shootout loss. Uh-oh. I don't think we made the playoffs. I think we're on the outside looking in. Let's take a peek. Let's see if we pulled off a miracle or if we're screwed. I think we're screwed. Yep, we didn't make it. Damn. 2 points out. We were 2 points. We were 1. Oh, and you know what really sucks? If we won one more game, okay, we would have been tied in points with Glendale, but we would have had more wins, so we would have been in the playoffs. Crap. Well, that's a bummer. So much for a couple of owner goals that were that were expected of us. We're gonna get yelled at. Hold on. Owner goals. Make round 3 of the playoffs. Nope. Finish in the top 1 of the division. Nope. Well, those are... Damn it. Those are both done. Oh, well. Oh, well. It is what it is. Okay. AHL season is also ended. Okay. Time for the owner to yell at us. Oh, Howell's ready to play in the next game. That's great. Yep. Didn't manage to get in the top 1. It didn't happen. What else? Gonna yell about the 3rd round of the playoffs? Not gonna yell about that yet? You're gonna wait till the playoffs are over before you yell at me? Is that what's gonna happen? Okay, let's finish out this month. Yeah, well, he's not a starter, so he's not jumping up yet. Hey, you know what? Halbagwagawagawax is ready to play, so let's put Halbagwax. What a name. Let's throw him in there. Don't get hurt in the off season, my friend. Hey, look, he's fully healed and ready to go. It doesn't matter. So, what was the Brooklyn Beast won the cup last year, I think? Do they pull it off again? Yeah, I think they're eliminated. One more look at the draft class before we get into the... Alright, still got same thing. Okay, no changes. Still got players to target. Stanley Cup final. The Beasts are back. Look at that. Update. All right, we're gonna keep those prices. We're almost at our goal. Playoffs are over. The Abbotsford Armada have won. Oh, that's another team that went from being garbage to a Stanley Cup final. Bonkoff saying, "I'm not sleepy, but I don't want to do anything. I don't know what to do." Well, what time is it where you're at? So, I mean, it's not even 6 o'clock in the evening for me. I mean, there's always Netflix. Or, if you're not sleepy, yeah, not even 6 for you. There's always do some exercise. You know, find something to do, like spend. What I try to do, and mind you, I'm clearly I'm a lot older, so like, you know, for me it's a lot more important for me to be exercising. But it's not bad to like designate half an hour to an hour a day of like just doing simple exercises, and even if that's nothing more than like, you know, taking a walk around the block, or I don't know. I live in a city, so for me it's walking around a block. Or you know, just walking, just going for a walk. Just you got 10 pounders. Hey, there you go. Do squats with 10 pounders, or you know, just do simple exercises. You know, like simple curls, or if you have a second floor to your house, like just go up and down the steps like maybe 10 times. You know, or make a circuit within your house where you're like going for, you know, go walk through all of the rooms, go all the way up the staircase, you know, around, you know, just like down a hallway or whatever, and then back down your steps, and, you know, just keep doing that a few times. And hey, if you got 10 pounders, carry them with you. You know, a little resistance, or if you have a backpack and you throw some stuff into a backpack and carry that with you. You know, maybe have part of the trip as you're going through. Every time you get, you know, you get a lap through your kitchen. You know, take a drink of some ice water. You know, you do that. You know, you do some simple exercises, like I said, for 30 minutes. You know, like it'll do you good, and it's either going to wear you out, where you're going to be like, okay, now it's time for a nap, or it'll do the opposite, where it'll be like, oh, kind of wake you up. You know what I mean? Fuckcraft saying, I'd like to stay as far away from school as possible, so I'll pass on that backpack. Hey, right on. What the hell was I about to go look at? Don't remember. What was I going to look at? I can't remember. Oh, I think I was just gonna look at the awards. Abbotsford Armada against Cincinnati won the President's Trophy again, huh? Against the Brooklyn Bees, so yeah, Brooklyn was garbage, but Erie, Flint, that's the President's Trophy I'm looking at. Yeah, good for them. I don't imagine we've got any players who are going to be listed on here at all. Another Calder Memorial Trophy winner for a player on a Stanley Cup winning team. Anybody? Hey, that's 2 years in a row that this guy won. Don't think Brick O'Malley is going to be the man for a while, I think. Gotta watch out for Brick O'Malley. Hart Trophy winner in his second year ever. Alright. Minecraft saying, funny thing is, depending on who you tell this to, people have been going crazy being crammed in their house, but this is all I ever do, so this quarantine is normal for me. You know, it's funny, so I was talking to my mom yesterday on the phone, and we were both laughing about the same thing, because, like, honestly, this is pretty normal for us as well. Like, you know, I never grew up, like, when I was a kid, we never grew up near anybody, like, we didn't have neighbors, you know, that I can go, oh, my friend lives next door, I'm going to go play with my friends outside or whatever. It was just like me and my brother. And if we were going to be hanging out with any friends, like, you know, their friends would either have to be picked up and brought to my house, or we'd have to be driven over to our friends' houses. So for the most part, we were just at home anyway. So, you know, growing up, like, that's just, you know, my life was just finding things to do at home. Video games, TV, whatever, you know, board games, stuff like that. So yeah, for me too, this isn't weird. And as an adult, this isn't strange. What sucks, like the main thing that bothers me is not getting to play with my band, because we can't, you know, legally we can't get together to even practice. Because the studio is in a place, it's in a strip mall basically, where we can't have access to it, so we can't even practice. And that's the part that kills me, because for me, even if it's just practice, it's an opportunity for me to get my frustrations out, get my emotions out, you know, by yelling and carrying on to a microphone. That's just the normal for me. And I don't have that, so, like, that sucks. I've got nothing to, like, you know, like my normal way of getting the stress out of me, so. Okay, I didn't have any picks from anybody, so oh, wait, Tacoma. Okay, we have the 12th overall pick. All right. We're in the top 15, so that helps. Mainly helps for later rounds. Yeah, I know I didn't make it to round 3. I gotta sneeze. Okay, thought I had another sneeze about to happen. But yeah, I'll tell you, I have to laugh at, you know, there's all these people that were like the doomsday preppers, and they're all like, they've all got their tactical gear on, and they've spent all this time like hoarding canned food and bottled water and all their supplies for the strict purpose of something like this happening. Thank you. Minecraft says, bless you. But, like, you know, they spent all this time preparing for this exact type of situation, for like a pandemic or some kind of a world crisis and whatnot, so they can be isolated and not have to worry. And these are the same people now that are like the first ones out there protesting. And I'm not saying no one has a right to protest or express their opinions or anything like that. I don't think, personally, if anybody's wondering, no, I don't think we're ready to reopen, you know, the economy and whatnot. I think it's jumping the gun. You know, I actually study history, so, you know, one of the main things with the Spanish flu when that happened 100 years ago is we jumped the gun, and we basically stopped adhering to policies and steps that were taken, you know, to try to, you know, quarantine people then, and then the number of outbreaks jumped even higher than they were prior to people lifting the restrictions. So I'd rather not have the country that I love and the world that I exist in repeat the same mistakes we did in the past. We should know better by now. But again, the funny thing to me is these people that have spent so much time preparing for this are the first ones saying, we don't want to be like this. We don't want to be quarantined. We don't want to be, we don't like things the way they are. It's like, this is all you've been dreaming about. You've been, like, this is what you've been wanting. It's weird. People are weird. Von Carr saying, I've seen a meme where it says what I thought my apocalypse outfit would be, like some proper combat gear, and then what it actually is, and shows PJs. Yeah, that's pretty about right. That's about right. Like, it's so bad. Like, how weird is it? Like, days go by and it's like, I'm like, oh shit, it's Monday. And I had to, like, think about that. Like, right? It's Monday? Yeah, it is Monday. You know, because it's like every day is the same shit. So there's, like, nothing breaking up the day to day. It gets confusing. All right, so anyway, let's get into the retirement. Oh, we have one more look at the draft class. Let's view the draft class one more time before the offseason. All right, first, who is looking to go 12th overall? Okay, they think that my scouts, even though the Central Scouting has him ranked at going 9th, Central Scouting believes he won't go. I mean, not Central Scouting. My scouts believe he won't go until 12th, which would be my pick. Interesting. That may change on draft day. And if that's the case, that is who I will nab. Or it'll be, well, I won't be going for this guy. I would be going for the first available elite. So we're probably talking about this defenseman here. Possibly. Yep, alright, so everything seems to be the same, except now here's a potential high elite player going ranked 38th overall, but possibly going 29th. So he's probably going to get picked way before I can get a second round pick, so but that's okay. I think we can make some magic happen in this draft. All right, let's do we have any players retiring from our roster? So far, every year someone has retired, but I don't know if I have anyone. Andrew Ladd. Wow, he was... Nobody. Okay. Nobody retired for me. Any coaches? Uh-oh. North Bay Legends. I'm pretty sure that's, uh-oh. Tacoma Walleye. Yeah, I just had 2 coaches retire. Uh-oh. So I'm going to need to find a new goalie coach for my NHL team, and I'm going to need to find a new associate coach for my AHL team. And, actually, how are we on years? He's got 4 years left, 3 years left, 2 years left. I don't have anybody who's down to 1 year, right? All right. So I'm not going to have to re-sign any coaches, so that's good. Okay. Well, that is going to be it for this stream. I will be back in a little while to do the next one, which will be the draft and the re-sign phase and potential free agent grabs. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to once again look over the draft class, see what kind of moves I may or may not have to make in order to get the players that I'm aiming for, and see if there's any holes I need to fill from free agents. And part of that's going to be looking at player morale. Do I have any disgruntled players who are going to be pissy about possibly coming back? Dennis Yan, well, you know what? I have you for a few years, so you might just have to deal with it. He's disgruntled now. All right, he could be trade bait. I might trade him for a in this coming draft to try to get another pick. We'll see how that plays out. But at any rate, guys, yes, and I will check out that Nair Automata, or however you say that first part of it, Nair, whatever. I'm going to take a look at that as well. And then like I said, I'll be back in a little bit. So for now, I hope you guys are all staying safe, staying healthy, washing your hands, keeping, your distance from people the way you're supposed to, and that you're not being arrogant and taking risks and risking your loved ones' health. And yeah, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, hit that notification button, do all of that YouTube stuff that you know how to do. The game it's pronounced Nier, not Nair. It's Nier. Thank you, buddy. And anyway, until the next one, which will be within a half an hour, if not sooner. Till then, as always, peace.